but I don't see any damp issues, so hopefully.
Okay, Gerald, hi there. It's Martin and Nick, and we're going to do an assessment of Whitehead Crescent. I think this is the first assessment we've done with you. So the general form is that we do condition assessment first. So I talk through the condition stuff. Then we get into crime, demographics, capital growth. Then Martin takes over. We get into flooding, mine shafts, location, and as we go, we score everything. So we have a scoring system, and that just helps you, helps us kind of work out the overall quality of the deal. We find it's quite accurate as well. So this is well, you'll see, and hopefully you'll think it's accurate too. And if you don't, do tell us so we can improve it. All right, with all of that in mind. Oh yeah, and then Martin, sorry, I forgot to say, then once we've done all of that, then we get into the comparables. So we talk about other properties in the area that are similar type, what kind of prices they have gone for, and we use a system called Rightmove Plus for that, which is an estate agency thing. You know, it's like a professional version of the software. It's all very fancy. And then we also look at comparables on lettings. We work out what the yield is. We would then work out what we think it's worth offering on. And also we'll talk about the renovation cost as well, because this property needs quite a lot of attention. All right, with all that said, let's get into it. So here we go. And we're going to start here. So what I usually do, just to give us context, is I just rattle through the estate agency pictures to get an overview. Then we get into the report from the viewer person and we go from there. All right, so the first thing I would say is that it's a wreck. Some nice big trees nearby. The roof looks okay. There's a bit of moss on the roof and stuff, but I don't see any cracked slates or anything, which is good. But we'll see more detail there. The grass is obviously a bit scraggy, and you can see that you get a lot of leaves on it and stuff, so it needs a bit of attention. But a nice position, or it seems to be nice. We'll see in a minute when we look at the location and all that. Now, this double glazing looks quite old. I don't know whether it all needs replacing or not. It looks okay, but we'll have a look at the Vubra stuff shortly and just see if it's blown or not. This is where you get condensation between the two panes of glass. And when that happens, it's just awful, and you just got to change the glass. Now, this is kind of interesting that there's some downlighters here. Now, that, and also some quite fancy carpet, but this is old carpet, so it's like thick pile. I would have said this was given a heavy modernization probably 25 years ago, I would have thought.
Yeah, I will check the last sales, so maybe we can
Yeah.
have some pictures.
So moving on, nice, not very nicely done kitchen, actually. I don't like that diagonal with the floorboarding and the tiles, but whatever. Yeah, this looks to me like the place had a thorough renovation probably 25 to 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway.
In the 2005, it was the same as is now.
Yeah.
So I'm checking the pictures. So basically, they didn't touch it anything.
Yeah, so we got this going on here, this crack. Now I don't know what's going. We'll have a look later in the Vubra stuff. And what have we got here? 5-minute walk through. Let's just have a look. So to be so Gerald, the thing about these kind of assessments is that if it's a new build and it doesn't need much attention, we usually just skip through this. But because this is not terribly old, I would say this is 1920s, this house.
No, between 1930 and 1950s. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so it's not that old.
Yeah, that's good. So the newer the building, the better built it is. That's the general rule. And that means it won't have damp issues, which is really important. So anyway, carrying on. Well, I'm looking for subsidence cracks.
Maybe you can make it faster on YouTube.
Yeah.
The speed. No, yeah. No, it needs a lot
I see
of.
what you mean. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. So we're going twice speed now. And if I see something of interest, I'll pause. All right. And here's that front room. It's quite a nice room, actually, with the downlighters.
Looks okay. I don't see like issues with a lot of dumps because it's really cheaper compared to others, but it have a lot.
That's quite interesting. Now you see the way that wall, you see the way the paper on that wall is all peeling off. That's a sign of something. Could be damp. I'm not sure, but it is underneath this. So it has this weird setup with the thing that I don't know what's going on there. It's just maybe the guy was a DIYer or something like that, but weird.
Yeah, large kitchen.
I'd say it's unlikely to have damp just because of the age of the property. So older buildings had damp-proof courses, i.e. a waterproof membrane that separated the ground basically from the rest of the building.
Okay.
No, this is quite interesting. Yeah, it looks okay. What I'm looking for is flaking paint, and I don't see any. All right, so there we are. The double glazing looks okay.
It needs a lot of renovation.
Yeah, I think if you wanted to go really economy on it, and you could probably get away without replacing the windows.
And maybe not even replace whole kitchen, just fix.
Okay, that window's gone. So here's a good example. So you can see there's some condensation here. That's what I'm talking about when a window gets blown, you get this condensation. And it's not an expensive job. It's like £130 or something to pull out the old pane of glass and put a new one in. So it's got a hot water from a little electric hot water heater. That's okay. Funny arrangement with the garden.
And why he didn't point the brickworks? Because I think maybe there is some issues, so that's why.
Yeah. Okay, I would be surprised if there were some issues with drains or something like that, which meant that
because can you stop here the video? Mm-hmm. The kitchen is on this roof when you have like a dump, like on the inside of the room.
You can see there's a lot of splashback here.
Yeah, on the other side of the wall. Yeah. This wall, yeah. Here and inside, I can share screen just quickly.
Yeah.
Just quickly.
Yeah, so if you share screen, it bounces me out. So yeah.
Yeah.
You go.
Just shortly. Basically, this wall, if you remember, it was like weird.
Yeah, there's some issue there.
That's the inside. So maybe there is some issue.
Yeah, I assume it's a cavity wall as well. So you can tell if, can I share screen again then?
Yeah. I'll stop, sorry.
Thanks. So you can tell if it's a cavity wall because it's got bricks that kind of run lengthwise. Okay, so let's move on to the Vibra stuff and see what's going on there. So he's got lots of pictures, which is good. And we need lots of pictures because there's lots of issues.
Okay.
So, all right, I'm not that concerned about this crack. I don't think it's on the edge of being a problem, but I shouldn't. Okay, that's a problem. So there's a bit of damp. In fact, there's quite a lot of damp here. And then the question is, why is that the case? Because there shouldn't be, because there should be a damp-proof course. So there's something going on with this.
This is in the kitchen, I think.
This isn't looking so nice.
That's why it's so cheap compared to others.
Yeah. The thing is, when you get a big old crack like that, it means there's some sort of subsidence. But what I'm not clear on, because I can't see it in context, is how substantial that crack is, like whether it runs up the whole wall, which wall it runs up. So
We'll
it's
see
fine
on the
showing us
video.
pictures. Oh, here we go. Right, so that's a broken window that had a bit of stuff in it. This is obviously a property that's been neglected.
Yeah.
See, one of the things I'm always looking for is subsidence cracks. So stepped cracks, they're called. So this is where you would have a crack and it would kind of crack down like the side of that, and then that would be an issue. But I don't see that, so I don't think it's such an issue. But you would definitely.
Can you back the picture?
Hmm.
Just one back. You can see the white on the wall inside. There is on the other wall, on this side of the house.
Oh,
Yeah.
here, some paint here. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, so there inside is the damp issue.
You can see the splashback and the stuff, there's mud and everything. So the damp-proof course should be this brick level here. So it should actually be here. So it's at the pavement. I suspect what's going on is that the actual damp-proof course is down here at this brick level, because you see the big gap here. And what's happened is you got all this dirt and detritus building up, and that acts as a sponge, and then the bricks soak up the water and up it goes, and then you get the damp problem. I think that's probably what's going on here.
Yeah, I think.
Which would make sense. All right, well, that's encouraging in a way, because now we worked out where the damp is probably coming from. Now this looks like this isn't a problem. This is just an old ceiling.
Yeah, they didn't. No, I think nobody didn't live in this house long time.
Yeah, I think this is so where the reason it's curved is because it's probably upstairs, and it's probably that area. I don't think this is a problem. Yeah, so it's curved, and this is the joint, and things move around. So I'm not concerned about that as an issue. I don't think it's a real issue. Same story. It's the curved part here. So this is just simply very old ceiling, and it's just kind of bending and twisting. That damp.
This is the toilet, the bathroom top floor.
I'm mildly irritated that I can't actually see get a context on this. But anyway, maybe we'll get some video in a minute.
Yeah, we will.
So far, I'm not seeing anything alarming. I just think it's an old house that needs a lot of care. All right, here's some video. Let's have a watch of the videos and see what we can see. All right. So, Gerald, once upon a time, when way back in the day being 22 years ago, I had a building company. And I used to do nightclubs. Then I got into doing refurbishments in very nice houses in a place called Chelsea in West London.
This needs a lot of cleaning and working.
Yeah,
sorry,
it's just untidy, isn't it? But anyway, yeah. So Martin as well, by the way, he's a qualified surveyor, and we have Joe, who's obviously a very good builder. And so between us all, we kind of know our way around a lot of this construction stuff. And I've also built.
Yeah, you can see it near the
number
door.
of and also in the years between when I had a building company and now, this is what I think is going on. I think the dirt is piled up here, and all this dirt has to go so that it doesn't soak in above the dry the damp-proof course. It's quite a big yard. Actually,
went off.
I was just saying it's quite a big yard.
Yeah.
Well, he or she neglected the house, but they loved their television. You can see there were 2 satellite dishes on the house. Amazing.
Yeah, they're quite old.
Yeah. Well, it's a mature area. Like it's a very established area. All right, so let's have a look at the next one and see what that says or tells us. Yeah, so when I was over the last 20 years, I've done 3 really huge refurbs and a new build. The house that we live in now, which is 4 bedrooms and about 220 square meters.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about this.
No, it just
It's
needs
a
fixing.
non-issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
It's
just
just a
needs
very
work.
old wall. Yeah. What were you going to say, Martin?
Yeah, I wanted to say that as well. It's just because of the curve. It
Yeah.
shouldn't be an issue. That's normal. And I think people didn't live in this house with years, and that's normal.
Mm.
I bought
Trouble
the
with
same
this house.
I bought the same type of house, so for me, so for me to
Now
do the
this is
same.
interesting. I thought it was the walls, it's the ceiling. You know why this is happening, Gerald? It's because the guy has his bath or his shower, doesn't have any ventilation, and then you get a lot of condensation in the room and you get mold. So that's what's going on there. All right,
Yeah.
so that's a non-issue. We don't have a damp issue to speak of as far as I can see.
Yeah, and this is like that's what this is just the bathroom. Maybe it don't even need to be changed. Maybe just clean and just do the top of the top floor. Top
Yeah, a little bit of
wall.
something in the corner there. That might be a leak from the roof, maybe. You know, the roof would probably have to be gone through. Yeah, the thing with this house is it's never been given a deep renovation. So it's had new windows, new kitchens, whatever. But from the what did you say, 1930s, this house?
In 30s, 50s, yes, between.
Yeah, it's never actually had a proper back to brick renovation. And that's why it's a wreck. So the reality is it's a great project for someone like Joe. It's quite a lot of work, but it's not complicated work. It's all fairly simple stuff. It's just a lot of it and a lot of tidying up and probably rewiring, I suspect. Because with modern wiring, just, yeah, probably rewire as well, I imagine. Lots of very mature trees around the place. Okay, so I know that this bit is protracted and all that, and we need to get on with the rest of it, but it's quite important we pay attention to the detail. So yeah, that is a real 1930s, 1950s. So 1940s kind of, but there was very little house building going on there. See all of this ceiling. I wonder if that's plaster and lath. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. So lath is where you have strips of wood and then you put plaster on it, and the plaster kind of squidges through the strips of wood and holds in place. It never gives the kind of quality of finish that you get with plasterboard.
Can you see Can you back a little bit? On the top. In the corner.
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. There must have been something in there, like some sort of something that needed a vent or something. All right, so that's that. And let's have a look at the last thing, and then we get on to the rest of it, the rest of the story. So the thing is, if you've got a wreck of a property that needs probably £20,000 in it, so we'll need to do a proper assessment as to what it needs. But my guess, based on similar properties we've seen, which need this kind of depth of work, it usually works at around 18 to £20,000. See, that ceiling may have been replaced at some point with the downlighters, so that's one less thing you have to deal with.
Yeah,
But the upstairs ceilings probably have to come down and have to be redone, I suspect.
Yeah, based on the first calculation by photos, I said it's around 13,000, but it will be
Yeah,
more.
but I think it's more than that. I think you're into rewiring, and you have to completely redo that kitchen flooring because it's all wrong. And a lot of these ceilings are probably passable. So the downstairs floor is probably okay. It's the upstairs where the ceilings have got to come out and it all has to be done right. Do you know if there's an EPC for this building?
Yeah, it's deep. I will speak about it.
All right.
The wall should be good. The roof
yeah.
should be good. This is
that'll be
I will
that,
check.
by the way, is the bath. Somebody
Yeah,
let
yeah,
in the
yeah,
bath.
yeah, yeah. In the bath, in the bath, in the bath.
Yeah.
The kitchen is under the bath. So.
And you've got issues here in that up bit there. It's nothing major. It's just all grind. You know, it's just renovation stuff. I feel that it's new kitchen, new bathroom. Completely pull it right back. Upstairs, take the plasterwork out, and that's quite a lot of work. And redo all the landscaping in the area, put hard paving down here, get rid of all this mud.
So it will take more than,
needs,
yeah, it will take around 20, maybe 22K.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of work. All right, let's get into the rest of the story with this property. So the next question is, what about the demographics, the capital growth, and all of that? So we're now looking at our system, and we have a lot of information in this thing. So let's just start with the first thing here. Oh, we got a bit of flood risk over there.
But it's low in there too.
Yeah,
I will speak about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So in respect to crime, it's very low. 1 crime a month on average, which is fine. So it's just a quiet suburban area. The demographics are good, actually.
Yeah, this patch is really, really nice because it's nice people live, a lot of new builds, a lot of good houses. So I like it.
Yeah, it is good. The demographics are good. So they're unusually high. So a lot of ABs. So ABs are going to be like doctors and lawyers and company directors and so on. C1 would be senior middle management, that kind of thing. And there is some private rented around here, not a great deal. And that's usually because, so there's a bit more private rented up here. And that's really because in areas like this, houses don't yield well enough to work for renting typically. So we've got that. All right. Now the next thing is the capital growth. Where are we at with that? And right. So overall, I better just explain. With capital growth, it works in cycles. So here we have house price affordability going back to 1845, and I've just marked out all the major spikes. Now, the only time the cycle got broken was in World War I, but even then, around 1817 or thereabouts, there was a little peak. So the cycle is pretty regular, and we're now on cycle number 9, and by law of averages, we're in a cycle. And so it began in 2008 with the crash, and we're somewhere around here in the boom, and we've probably got about 3 to 4 years left. So when we think about the capital growth for the area, and we look at M24, M24 is one of the highest growth areas in the country. So there's only 9% of areas that are growing quicker than that. And in respect to the kind of expected growth for the future, I built an algorithm, and this suggests 21%, which I would kind of agree with. I think this is about right. So in other words, in 4 years' time, you would expect property in this area to grow 21% above inflation. So in other words, we expect, say, average 5 years inflation of 5% inflation per year. That's 20%, plus this 20%. So we're now up to 35, 40%. Call it 40 for round numbers. And therefore, the median house price, which at the moment is 153, one would expect that to go up to about 210, 220 nominally.
It will be more because it needs a lot of renovation. So
yeah, but I mean, this is the median house price, like just the ONS data. So we'll talk about where this property will go. Once it's renovated, then let's say you sink 20 grand, so it's 150. It's one of these houses in good condition. What would it be?
190.
Right, and then in good condition at 190. These are going to be bouncing around up to about 250 in about 4 years' time.
maybe not 250, but 230 at least.
Yeah, but then if you think about 20% inflation and it keeping up with inflation and a
Yeah,
little
but
bit extra.
yeah.
So, let's call it 230. Point is, it's going to grow in value, and
Yeah.
that's a good thing. So overall, this area is very strong for capital growth. And one of the reasons I'm confident about this area is because as central areas basically get too expensive, people, including home buyers and investors, start to try and find value further out. So they move further out and they look at places like this, where there is value. You buy a nice house, it's in nice condition, etc., and they go to places like Stoneclough. So that's what's going on there. Over to you on
Location.
location.
Okay. So first I will go zoom in. It's not far away from the train station, and that's nice. The only thing what is not here perfect is that it doesn't have a big supermarket, but the location is amazing, next to river, next to a lot of green space. It's here, like, but the wind coming from,
Oh yeah, we got the sewage works.
yeah, it's coming
That's
this direction, so you will not have any issue with the. So I already analyzed this. So yeah, the location is really nice. You can arrive in Manchester, not like I will tell you direction.
Oh
So
yeah, this is an interesting
29,
spot. Yeah,
29 minutes because you have direct
yeah.
train. Depends where in Manchester, but around less than 30 minutes. That's amazing. And yeah, and if you want to go to big supermarket, you have there, or Manchester, depends where you want. It's really quiet and a lot of green space. Really, really nice area. Really, and the demographics are really nice. I really love the area. I will go for coal mining, and I will go just to be sure where we're watching. So basically, okay, it should be somewhere here, I guess. Just to be sure, I will open.
Oh, this is kind of the middle of that. Yeah.
Okay, so it should be not here. Sorry.
No, Stoneclough, where it says Stoneclough there.
Yeah.
It's
So
fine
here.
because there's no X's there.
Yeah. So you can see there is no here. Should be here. So I don't see any like issue with that. With very low risk with rivers and sea, surface water, very low risk. And if you see on the map, nothing major. Yeah, here it have where it have the, as you see where Nick point out that it have flood risk. But here everything is safety. EPC, it's good. So that's why I took yes, because I thought that it's a bad condition, but I didn't know how much. That's why it's good to have a viewing. It's 72 meters square, not really large, not small. EPC is D58. I check. The walls looks good. The roof looks good. Maybe it doesn't need replacing, I guess.
Now that's interesting that it's a filled cavity wall.
Yeah.
So it just feels to me like the person who owned this neglected lots of stuff, but paid out on a few things. Like, anyway, that's interesting. It's unusual to see a filled cavity wall.
Yeah, boiler looks good. Like everything, hot water need to replace and lighting, but that's really cheap thing. Like lighting is like 30 pounds. It needs floor insulation. It doesn't have the set, and it's yeah.
But to get it from D to C,
yeah, you don't need to do. But when you do renovation, it's good to make it. So
yeah, there's loads of stuff you'll do anyway that would in the renovation. Okay, so what's next? Comparables?
Yeah, I want to say that this is the year built. Number is 13. The last sale is 2005, and I checked the photos, and everything looks the same. Just I think they make like a dining table here. What was strange in the this part is they make it like a table. Yeah, so the bathroom looks the same, and you can see even then it had concentrate dumps. Just because it doesn't have ventilation, I think they don't open the windows enough on time. So yeah, basically, I think they sell it, they live there a few years, and after nobody didn't live in the property. And also it's freehold. The plot is really nice. It's 0.06 acres.
It's
very
quite big.
nice. Yeah, and based on the location, you can see you have like a space to if you want to do extension, because a lot of properties around made. So if you want to, not really huge extension, but they made. So if you want to do, also you can do a garage if you want to in someday. So yeah, this all new builds around, a lot of new builds. So yeah, and I know that we had a property here where we sell. And so yeah, so now we'll go to comparables. This is the property what we sell. And the condition was okay. So yeah.
Is this one what that we offered?
Yeah.
Did we get that one?
Yeah.
Oh, we did. Okay, cool.
Yeah, with this extension, we take it for 197.
Oh yes. Which one's Vale Avenue? Yeah. Nice.
197. So basically, and this is what we're looking for. So it doesn't have extension. So minus 10K. So full renovated. I just want to set that full renovated, like 150 plus 20K for renovate. That's 170, and plus 10K for renovate, for extensions 180 if you want to do it. Like, so the price is correct, but it will sell up to 160. I will not pay more than 160 because maybe it will have some surprises, but we don't know. So maybe the renovation cost will be more. But yeah, I think 160 if you buy the property, it will be nice because it will have a lot of competition. And just to say that, like you can see 199, 165, 155, 129, but this is really also bad condition, really bad. 160.
Yeah, I think this house is nicer than that 70s one.
Yeah, so I will just extend just to find a similar. Yeah, this is, you can see it's really prime made, but look the price. If you made it like this, you can resell it in the future, and it's yeah much better. It's a little bit newer, but you can do the same because basically you will do huge renovation on the property, so you will make it better.
Yeah. So the thing is, Gerald, the issue with doing big renovations is the place has to be renovated, obviously, and new rewiring and all this, and it's a big job to do, which is fine, but it depends what you like to do.
Yeah, if you make it really nice, it will real value it will be 190, 200. So
all right. So the other thing I haven't done, and I said I would, but I haven't because I forgot. Okay, I'm just going to do some scores here. On condition, it's 2.
Can you share
location? Yeah, location. It's a. Thanks.
Sorry about
location. What is it for location? 3.75?
Yeah, something like this. Yeah, it's not really nice.
It's not perfect. It's okay. It's a nice area. The location's a bit far out. The area is nice. 4 for the area. Yeah, I think it's quite pretty.
4.2 maybe. Because a lot of new build, a lot of new good people, good demographic, like really good.
And crime, I think it's
4.
very low, so it's a 4. Demographic, it's actually quite good. It's probably like a 4 on the demographics. Like the demographics are genuinely very solid because there's no local authority housing, no social housing basically. So this is good. Would it sell quickly?
Yes.
Oh yes, it would. So would it rent? 4 dot. Yeah, it's a very solid renter.
Price is good. Yeah.
Well, it's good. Well, yeah, it's good, but it's also a wreck. So it's like,
yeah. So let's do 3.5.
Yeah, I think that's about right. The thing is, with these scoring systems, the price is often never good, unfortunately, because the market's competitive. But with capital growth, what happens is you buy it, you look back and you go, well, actually, it was cheap when I got it. And that's how capital growth works. All right, for yield.
Let me say, it will rent for 850 at least. 850 for one with only renovation 180.
Yeah, so yeah, 180. So what's the yield at 150? I mean 180, sorry. The gross rentable yield, what would that be?
Sorry, my internet connection 3.75 I will give for yield. That is not perfect.
Yeah, I think that's about right. And capital growth, I think it's strong on capital growth. I'm going to give it a 4.1 on capital growth.
Yeah.
I think it's got good growth potential. That's a 3.85. So that's okay. It's not the best score by any means. It's a decent score. I think what really pulls this property back a little bit is just the amount of work it needs. And that's fine, but the issue is that it's not a clean...
On the void period.
Yeah, you've got a void period of 2 to 3 months, let's say, whilst you're sorting the whole thing out, maybe 2 months most. But the issue is that it's a lot of extra cash down, because you can't really mortgage this place that easily. I mean, you can, but the mortgage will be based on the valuation as is, not the valuation when done up. So therefore, you might talk, say, about 60,000 pounds cash employed once you factor in a 75% loan to value mortgage, and then you've got to spend another 20. So maybe you have 70,000 pounds cash down, out, and then you can refinance, and then you can optimize the position. So it's really just whether you have the appetite for something like this, and whether you want to have cash sitting in this, reasonable amount of cash sitting in this for a while. All right, so just final scores in the doors, just to remind you, it's okay. It's okay.
And this property was on the market in May 2021, but
was it?
Yeah, it followed, I guess.
What were they asking for in May? Let's have a look.
Same.
Were they?
Yeah, but this is how I saw. You don't have it on the Patma, and it have it on the Rightmove Plus.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Here it is. And you can see they use the old photos, and I guess that's why it's collab. I think it's this one. And they use the old photos, what it was in the past. And that's why, and they used, and when they want to check the property, they see this rack. So basically, that is the issue. This is all, they use old photos when they advertise the property. So that's why it's foul. And now they use real photos, and so maybe there are some issues, what we don't know, but we'll see.
Okay, well, let's finish there. This has been an exceptionally long assessment. Generally, they take about 20 to 25 minutes, but we've kind of dwelled upon a lot of stuff here. So sorry if it gets boring. With YouTube, you can just make it go faster. So we can talk like that, we're really quick, and you just zip through it, and then you're there. But okay, my final take on it is I quite like it. I think the area is strong. I just think that's a big project. We can do the work, no problem. We can definitely do it. It's just, do you want to take on a renovation project when maybe you could just buy a property that needs minimal work and job done? It's all much easier. I don't know. But the benefit of the renovation is that you will get value. So you put 20 grand in renovation, you're going to get back an extra 10 to 15,000 pounds in value in the property. So, from that point of view, it makes a lot of sense to add value to the property and just make it a more desirable one. And the thing about this area is that good properties will go for 220, that kind of thing. So if you could really improve it meaningfully, then there's a lot of value upside in it.
Yeah, if you add extension. So yeah, that's also to extend the kitchen a little bit. So if you want to.
Yeah. So, and the other thing to say is that there will be competition for this property, but I don't think it'll be insane competition. I'd be surprised, just because it's just too much work for most people. Because most owner occupiers, they have large loan to value mortgages, and so therefore what they really like are properties that are all done up, ready to go, and they can just roll it all up in long-term debt, which pleases them. So there it is. Yeah. All right, Gerald, thank you very much.
Just before, maximum 160. I will not pay more than that because it has a lot of renovation. So tell us what.
All right, and if you're serious about this, Gerald, then you know, I'll talk to check it out overnight when I'm asleep, as it were, when we're asleep. Let us know in the morning what you want to do. If you're serious, then I'll talk to the agent and I'll start my back and forth about this and just see what's going on. I'll also talk to Joe. I'll ask him for his take, and we can do a more detailed assessment on potential construction costs. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.